Jamie, how are things, Bernard and Virgin Media? First and foremost, how's the injury?
Yeah, it's a lot better than what I thought coming in. So I had scans and stuff, and pretty confident that I'll be hopefully able to go Saturday.
What is the injury and how serious was it, or is it?
Yeah, it was just a slight tweak to my hamstring. So lucky enough, no structural damage or that. So like I said, hopefully ready to go.
I'm sure loads of Ireland fans and the manager will be glad that if you're fit to play this week after that goal last week. Do you want to talk us about it again, that free kick against Belgium?
Yeah, it was a nice moment for me personally. Obviously my first European goal as well. So it was a lovely feeling to get it in front of in a big match away from home. So it was probably one of my best moments this season so far. So it was a nice moment.
I think it's 5 and 17 this season. Would you say this is one of your better spells of form in your career?
Yeah, probably. I want to obviously add more goals. I've had a good return in the last few seasons, so I want to keep that coming. And obviously if I can score more, gives me a better chance of playing regularly here. So that's what I want to do.
Obviously it's been a disappointing campaign and finishes at the weekend. What do you put the disappointment of this campaign down to? What exactly went wrong, do you think?
I think we've been unlucky in a lot of games. It's not for the want of trying. From the offset we're underdogs in the group. We've probably drawn the hardest group we could have got. But there's no getting away from we should have done better in the group. Some performances were probably below others, and it's probably finding that consistency. I thought we put in some really good performances at home to Holland, at home to France, and hopefully we can finish on a high coming in this weekend.
We Darren in here earlier on. He talks about trying to do it for the manager this weekend. I know someone put a huge amount of faith in you. Would you like to give the manager the proper result and what looks like it's going to be his last competitive game?
We don't know for sure, but of course we want to do that. We want to finish the campaign on a high. Every time you play in a green shirt, you have to do the jersey proud. So, but of course, we'll always give our best for the gaffer. Personally, he's been really, really good for me in my career. Gave me a chance at Dundalk and obviously brought me up here to get my first cap. So, of course, we'll do it all for him as well. Yeah.
Ashton?
By Jamie Ashton from Off the Ball. Is it frustrating as a player to not be getting those results? As you said, you've been unlucky at times.
Yeah, it's like, for instance, the France at home game, first game in the group, like the keeper pulls off an unbelievable save that probably go down as one of the best saves I've seen in my career. So little margins like that just haven't been really going in our favour, but there's no getting away from other results haven't been good enough as well. So it was a very tough group from the offset, but like I said, probably should have got a few better results.
And I'm sure for you it was always probably the dream to play for Ireland, and coming in and playing for them at this time when it's not the most successful time, is that hard as well with all the noise going on around the team?
No, listen, to put on a green jersey is obviously a dream of every kid in the country, so I'm very, very privileged to be sitting here, and every time I get the nod from the gaffer, it's an unbelievable feeling. So you can't take that away from any of the players here. It's such a big achievement representing your country, and like I said, millions would give anything to be sitting where I am. So I'm very lucky.
Oh, good stuff. And who would you say then is the best player you played against in the Scottish League?
Liam Scales.
love that.
He's playing this year, Scales. He is. It's great to see. Obviously, if things went a bit different, we could have been teammates at Aberdeen. So, but I'm delighted to see him kicking on at Celtic, and he's been one of the best defenders in the league, I'm pretty sure, this season. Yeah.
And any non-Irish?
Liam is the best, we've had a decent start to the campaign so far. We went to Ibrox and won, and we find ourselves in a cup final now, so some big results in Europe as well, so it's been a decent start from ourselves.
Brilliant, thanks.
Javin?
Jamie, when you're playing in Europe with Aberdeen, you're heading for a cup final, do you really feel you belong at that level there?
It's obviously a nice feeling, looking forward to a cup final. We obviously have Rangers coming up in a packed out Hampden, so it'll be a really good experience. Hopefully get some silverware at the end of it. A lot of family, friends coming over for it, so it's a big occasion, and obviously Celtic and Rangers tend to win their fair share in Scotland, so to upset that would be a really good achievement.
You've always done well when you've been selected for Ireland. Can you talk to us a little bit about what kind of role the manager asks you to perform when you are picked, and what kind of tactical asks?
Yeah, it's sometimes playing narrow off the left, narrow off the right, and sometimes in the midfield three. So I'd like to think I'm quite flexible, kind of pretty clued in tactically as well. So I feel like I can fit a few formations and different roles the gaffer asked me to play. So yeah, been delighted every time the gaffer's given me the chance, and I'd like to think that I've done well whenever called upon.
Ed?
Funny enough, Jamie, just a similar question to Gavin's there, follow up on that. So just in terms of your relationship with the manager, it goes back a long time. Just the more times you come into this Ireland squad, have you found that he has increased your responsibility within the squad, even taking a leadership role as well as, giving you a bit more freedom to perform on the pitch?
Yeah, so the gaffer's been a massive part of my career. Obviously signed me, I think I was 20 at St. Pat's. He signed me to Dundalk and gave me the opportunity to go on and win medals there. So yeah, we were part of a very successful team there, and obviously the gaffer left in my last year to come here, and when I was doing well at St. Mirren, he showed a lot of faith in me and picked me when maybe he could have picked other people, and he's been quite consistent about picking me as well, which is a big confidence boost for myself. And I think he just fills every player in the squad full of confidence. He's obviously trying to change the way of past and how he wants us to play, so to do that takes a lot of courage, especially against the big nations. And I think one thing he does is he does fill you with confidence and gives you that belief that you can go toe to toe with some of the best teams. And I touched on it earlier, like Portugal away, that was my first competitive game, and we went toe to toe with them. I thought we played some good stuff on the night, and that's carried on throughout the campaign. Come up to France, hopefully Holland now Saturday. So but yeah, like I said, he does put a lot of belief in players, especially me as well, coming in. So yeah, he's been a big part.
David?
You mentioned about Liam being actually the best player you played against, but if you actually look at what's happened to him in his career over the last year, where obviously he was on loan at Aberdeen and was come back in at Celtic, it kind of shows you how you can come in for the cold and maybe be discarded a little bit. Like you kind of had it when you went to Wigan, you get a chance to come back. How do you kind of maintain that own trust in your own ability then to know that will actually keep on persevering? Because it could be quite demoralising, I imagine.
Yeah, that's football. Like, you can have your highs and lows. I've obviously experienced a bit of that at Wigan, and it can be easy to start doubting yourself, but you have to remember what you've achieved so far, and you have to have that underlying confidence in your own ability, no matter how hard it gets. You know how good of a player you are deep down. So yeah, you have to be resilient in the game. Like, you're going to have your knocks, and I think from 17, 18 it's a good learning curve. You always get your knocks, and it's about how you bounce back. And to be fair to Scalesy, it looked like he might not be getting his chance, and a few injuries and performances on the training ground, he's got his chance, and he has to look back, and long may it continue. Yeah.
When you were saying they were getting those knocks, like you would have been having them when you would have been in 14 dressing room as well, so you could learn that you have to just get on with it. It's not what it is, because it's not as if maybe in youth football where you drop out a team wherever. When you were in 14 environment, that's what kind of matters with you. Yeah,
so it's rootless. Like, so I was called up to Pats when I was about 17, 18, and it's a rootless game, like in the men's game anyway. So I was kind of seeing what it's like firsthand from a young age. So probably is a good learning curve. That you're not kind of sheltered away from that side of it. Like I said, it's very rootless, and you have to be resilient. And when times get hard, just think back to how good you actually are. But like I said, that can be difficult. But easier said than done. But it's part of the game.
And just the last one on that then. So when people say about it's good for young players to come through the League of Ireland because you get to play, but it's actually not just the playing time, it's that exposure to actually what they're saying they would have to. It's just that even with that dressing room, you're going to have those demands. So eventually, if lads are going to kick on in their career, they're already going to have that kind of understanding of what's going to be important.
Yeah, exactly. It's good mental building, to have that mental strength. You might be up 1 week, 18, 19, score your first few goals, and the next time you find yourself out of the squad. So I think it is very, very important from a young age to experience that, and how you can adapt to it. If you can't adapt to it, you probably won't reach the levels, and others adapt better than others. So I think it is pretty important for a footballer to be in that environment from a young age.
Philip?
Jamie, thanks for your time today. You mentioned football being ruthless there. You had to show a lot of resilience. The Wigan move didn't work out. When you look back on it, what was the lowest moment at that time? And did you feel that you had to move on to somewhere else because it might have impacted upon your international chances as well?
Yeah, so that probably was the lowest, getting kind of not called up to the squad. Like it was impossible for the gaffer to pick me because I haven't played in months. So I knew when that happened that I had to get out ASAP, and I could have took the easy route and stayed and said I'm playing in the champ, and realistically I'm just a squad player. I wanted to get back out playing. Probably took the harder move and went back to Scotland, and yeah, started to score goals there again, back loving the game again, and thankfully the gaffer seen that and called me back up, which was an amazing feeling. So yeah, I could have probably sat there on the outside looking in. I'm a championship player, but I'd rather play football regardless.
What was the lowest moment for you at that period? Was there a time where, which is not Darryl O'Shea there, that Burnley this year he's had to cope with 1 or 2 matches hasn't been in the matchday squad? Were you left behind in a matchday squads at times, or were you cast to one side when training? Was there a moment where you went, this is not going right?
Yeah, so I was left out with quite a few matchday squads, to be honest. Yeah, like that, I just tried to train my hardest every day. I didn't want to give any excuses to anyone. I wanted to do everything I could to potentially change that scenario, but for whatever reason it just wasn't happening. And yeah, being left out of the squad's a very, very tough thing. And yeah, that was probably the lowest point, just not being in squads, in a new team, not really feeling part of it. So yeah, just had to get away from it.
You talk to them. Was anybody else at that? Pick the phone up to, or anybody with the club and say, look.
Yeah, you have your support platforms with family, some teammates there as well. So, but at the end of the day, you're not playing football, and that's what you want to do as a kid. So, yeah, that's the bottom line. If you're not playing football, personally, I'm not going to be happy. So, yeah, so that's probably was the lowest point. Yeah.
I don't care a little bit here, but finally, just you're from Mackboy, and I know you're a Pats man, but do you know James Clark?
I don't know him personally, but I've been watching a lot of League One this year, and he's been absolutely flying. I think he's been Bo's best player, probably obviously him and Johnny Afolabi, but he's been unbelievable this year, and he's been a real joy to watch.
He's not a million miles away from your part of the world.
No, I'm pretty sure he's Beliver area, or is it where?
Klein.
Klein, is it? Yeah. I know a few of the boys know him and that, so I speak with Dylan Connolly as well. He's a lot of praise for him as well, so I hope he keeps going the way he's going, and yeah, hopefully he might be here one day. Yeah.
Finally done.
Just following on a bit from what David's saying and the ruthless nature and like breaking through in football. I was looking at your first under-21 squad you were in. I think it's just yourself and Josh Cullen that are in the squad at the moment. Like, at that time, there would have been, you might have come in and thought maybe these players were ahead of you. Like, does it show sort of how difficult it is really to get to that next level? Because I assume that looked like a great group to you when you walked into it for the first time. Yeah,
so it didn't really feature too much for the 21s. And like that, you might be doubting yourself coming in. Like, these boys are at bigger clubs than me, but at the end of the day, I was playing and winning trophies at Dundalk. I kind of knew how good I was deep down, and would have liked to get the opportunity to play a bit more there at the 21s, but it didn't happen for whatever reason. And yeah, I think me, Josh, Ryan Manning was part of that team, Ronan Curtis. So we had a good few lads that broke through. But I think maybe Chio's in the same position as me, probably Scalesy. I know Scalesy played a lot for the 21s, but yeah, I think we were more Sol 8 developers, and obviously coming through the league, it's standing to us now, yeah.
You think that like, it does, there's 18-year-olds in the League of Ireland now, whatever, it's sort of inspiring to them to know that it's not all about being in the Irish under-19s now or being instantly in those squads at the moment. It can happen for them.
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, like I barely had any caps up till 21s, played a bit 19s, small bit 21s, so I think the bottom line is to keep going and keep believing how good you are, and it only takes a good 3-4 months to change everybody's opinion. Football's like that. If you score a good few goals in a short amount of time, it can bring you to places, or a few good performances week after week can totally change everybody's outlook. So I think the main thing is to be patient and keep that belief in yourself. Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Cheers.
Thanks, Jimmy.
No worries. Thank you.